This is the best Premier League title race of a generation. We have got Liverpool, Man City and Arsenal all within 1 point of each other. Absolutely ridiculous going into the Premier League title race. It's absolutely ridiculous how much quality there is between all three sides, how tight it is between all three of them. Man City haven't beaten Arsenal this season. Arsenal got a huge opportunity at the Etihad. Liverpool have drawn with Arsenal. Liverpool have lost to Arsenal. So the tightness between all three sides is absolutely huge. I can't think of a title race as good, maybe since the Aguero season. Even then, it was only... Let's be real. Only then it was only two sides. It was a Ferguson side at the end of its kind of prime. It was a City side on the resurgence. But what we're seeing here, not only mathematically with all three sides, again, 1 point between them, a very flat record between the three clubs, is this kind of idea that all three have got this edge on each other. One level, City have got the best squad. They've got the highest score in a single Premier League campaign in Erling Haaland, De Bruyne, Rodri, Stones. I think it's the best side in Europe and the best manager in Europe. But the edge isn't there in terms of what it means, I think. I think it's very, very hard to win 4 in a row. I'm never going to discredit Guardiola for how he motivates City. How do you win a domestic treble and then a treble, and then City can go on to win potentially still in the discussion for another treble? It's absolutely ridiculous. So I'm not saying City don't fight for Premier League campaigns this season in the same way, but you have to look at Arsenal. What happened last season? That either makes you stronger or weaker. You either capitulate under the pressure or get better. And I think this Arsenal side are infinitely better than they were last season. They've got clutch goals. They've got clutch moments. I'll talk about Arsenal a little bit later on. But then we have to talk about Liverpool as well. Liverpool were superb at Anfield. They had to come from 1-0 down against the Premier League champions who could control the game. And Liverpool were able to disrupt any kind of control from Man City. And Man City never got our foot on the ball. Let's be completely real. Never created big chances really in the final 20, 30 minutes. That's because of the incredible work rate from Liverpool. And except for that Doku chance when he hit the post in the final minute, really Liverpool held Man City at an arm's length. And they did that at the Etihad as well. So we are looking at a prime Premier League title race. And I'm loving life. Let's just talk about Arsenal, and then we're going to talk about all three sides, and then we're going to talk about the game on Sunday, which was absolutely huge at Anfield. But we have to start off with where Arsenal are at the moment. They're top of the table. They've got a better goal difference than Liverpool. They've single-handedly created that goal difference because of the record in the last few weeks. Smashing Sheffield United. It could have been 10, let's be real. Smashing West Ham. Even the goals against Brentford were absolutely fantastic. Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, well-deserved. Really, really was well-deserved. So this Arsenal side are free-flowing. The highest scorers in Europe this calendar year, higher than even Inter Milan, who are smashing sides week in, week out in Italy. And then you have to be completely real and say... their defence is rock solid. Ben White is incredible. He's been absolutely superb this season. Kiwior isn't getting the attention that he deserves. And Saliba and Gabriel is probably the best centre-back partnership in the league. That's partly because Man City, in my opinion, haven't got a solidified centre-back combination yet. Akanji's coming in and out, and Ake and Gvardiol, Diaz and Stones, injuries here and there as well. So Arsenal have got that defensive line. They're outscoring sides. They've got a clutch player. And Liverpool are still in the discussion as well. Let's talk about Liverpool's mentality because it was absolutely ridiculous. Again, you're 1-0 down against Man City and they put more energy in. I think this side, they must be running on adrenaline. A week and a half ago, what was it, 10? Is it a week ago or a little bit over? They're doing 120-minute games at Wembley. They're playing a really hard Southampton side who are doing incredibly well in the Championship. Then they're doing Sparta Prague as well and smashing them out the park. This Liverpool side are living on adrenaline. It wouldn't surprise me if next season, whoever the manager comes in, they come 8th. Because and that's not because Liverpool got terrible players or anything. I just think that the standard that Liverpool are operating at the moment, it must be so draining. And I don't know how they're doing it because they've got many gaps in this side. Someone like Conor Bradley's come in and his mentality, the way he was attacking Man City, especially in the first half, it's absolutely incredible. And again, it's a testament to how Jurgen Klopp has got this side firing. Back to Arsenal, though, I think it was a really big moment for Arsenal and obviously for Aaron Ramsdale in particular, who was giving it the big I am after he made that huge mistake against Vissa. I really think that last season that becomes a 1-1 draw. I really think that the Arsenal fans would leave the stadium flat. They'd leave the stadium feeling a little bit emotional and despondent, if you will. And in the second half, they've now got a clutch player in someone like Kai Havertz, who's now equaled his best ever goal scoring tally for Chelsea in a single season. And he's scored 4 in a row. So he's finding form at the right period of time. Maybe that blip for Arsenal is very reminiscent as a Man City fan, right? Because Man City, when, the first Premier League campaign for Man City, we actually documented it on the Amazon documentary, All or Nothing. FA Cup away tie, Will Grieg scores against Wigan. And in that period of time, Pep was absolutely livid because it's not about winning the FA Cup. It's about building momentum. It's about building something and trying to win the Premier League campaign. And I think Arsenal will look at the Fulham and West Ham results. And if they go on to win the Premier League, that will be the catalyst, because since then, they've not put a foot wrong. And if they don't win the Premier League, they'll conversely think, wow, what an opportunity missed, because we should be absolutely smashing the likes of Fulham and West Ham the way they went into that tie. I think this Arsenal side are far more resilient than last season. Declan Rice as well, player of the season for me so far in the league. He scored a huge goal. He's adding goals to his game. He's very reminiscent for me of Frank Lampard, an early Frank Lampard, who could arrive in the box late and do things from midfield to a very, very high level. Let's just talk about Liverpool Man City a little bit more. As a City fan, I'd say I'm a little bit flat about the performance. Look, a 1-1 draw is an amazing result, and you have to back City to potentially be unbeaten from now to the end of the season. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's likely that's going to happen. But there is a world where City, especially in the league, build huge momentum. And maybe we suffer in the cup competitions. Maybe we don't have the same energy in the Champions League knockouts and whatever else. But in the league, our record's been incredible. That's why we won 3 in a row. Let's be completely real. But there's something missing at Anfield. I'm trying to fathom now, is that down to Jurgen Klopp's genius? Is that down to Liverpool being able to break the lines and break through City and stop? We got counter-pressed by Liverpool at points. Their energy was fantastic. McAllister, Szoboszlai, Endo in that second half really got to grips with the Man City midfield. It was one of the poorest games I've seen from Rodri. He wasn't able to control the game. John Stones was a little bit absent at points. And maybe that's not his fault. Maybe the discussion is, you have to let me know in the comments, but maybe the real debate for the Liverpool-Man City game is that Liverpool were just incredible in terms of their work rate and disrupted Man City. Maybe that's what it is. But this Man City side still have to figure out the front three situation. I think Alvarez on the left at points worked for a bit and then it didn't work. I think there has to be a bit of a discussion about the settled nature of that back four. We saw Pep Guardiola last season tinker with it and put 4 centre-backs in. And right now, Kyle Walker's playing a lot of football and Nathan Ake's being shift from left-back to centre-back, and Gvardiol's come in and out the side. Doku as a left winger as well. I still think there's a little bit too much transition in the starting 11 for City, and maybe that will change after the international break when there's a clear run of fixtures. At the moment, I think Arsenal were favourites to win the league just. They got the advantage in a numerical sense in the goal difference position as well. Man City have got one final opportunity to lay a big uppercut, let's put it that way, on Arsenal, because City's form against Arsenal at the Etihad is absolutely huge. And City are due a win. City are due a win against Liverpool and Arsenal this season. Haven't beaten either, let's be completely real. So, yeah, that is absolutely massive. You have to let me know in the comments down below who you think will win the Premier League. But one thing is for certain, if you're a neutral watching this, it is the best Premier League campaign I think I've seen in many, many years. I think some of the Mourinho-Ferguson ties are fantastic. Wenger-Ferguson, of course, in the 90s. Kevin Keegan and Fergie, incredible. Have we really seen, you have to let me know, have we really seen, right, 3 sides of this quality? And not just quality, because there's always quality sides in the league. There's at least 5 or 6, incredibly well invested in huge football clubs in the league. There always has been, of course. But has there been 3 that have all got an edge on each other, that have all got either mentality, or have got form going into the game, who have got a chip on their shoulder, who have got the world-class experienced players of Man City versus the world-class, energetic, emotional coach of Klopp, who's got the experience of winning the Premier League and has got that extra 5%
chip on their shoulder because they know it's Jurgen Klopp's final hurrah at Liverpool. And then you've got Arsenal in the mix, who've got everything to prove, and they've got that world-class selection of talent that are becoming, the next generation of Premier League greats. You have to let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you very, very soon.